Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In the last video, I showed how I started a new project to develop a combat system. Not the perfect combat system, that's a mistake I said on the last one. I just want to make a combat system that I feel happy with. Nowadays, Souls-like combat is the most popular thing out there, and I feel like this has made it to where most games are copying this system one to one and not really innovating or making something different. And there's obviously nothing wrong with it. It's a great system and it's really fun to play with. But I want to get out of that mold and make something that is a little different. Obviously, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just trying to make something special and something that is just fun to play with. With that out of the way, let's dive into the current progress that I've made so far. Just a small recap from my last video. I mentioned I had a stamina system working, 360 dimensional movement, as well as locked movement forward once you draw your weapon. I have some blended trees working with the animations to achieve these both in the regular state and in the combat state. I also have a pretty sweet combo system working. I did this using a tutorial, which I will link. And that's about it. Not much progress to show, but behind that it's a solid 8 hours of work, so I am doing this as a part-time thing, since I do have a full-time job and I'm doing this in my free time. So bear with me, we'll get there. So the idea behind having two states, like a regular state and a combat state, is to be able to interact with things while in the regular state and just handle the combat in the other state. Now, I figured this is a little bit out of scope, but in the future I'm planning of implementing this in an actual game, so I might as well have that in. So back to present. In here you can see that I revamped my dodging animations. They're playing pretty nicely now. I also have some blocking animations and also an impact block. And then here you can see that as I dodge, the player does not receive any damage. And then if I'm not blocking, a different animation plays and I receive some damage. Here you can see that I added some trail to the sword. So as you hit, the sword has a pretty cool trail effect. And then also some animations on the skeleton. You see attacking, some chasing, and then a dead animation. And then since I spoke about the skeleton, I'll talk a little bit about him. He's using a nap mesh surface in order to walk around, as well as a nap mesh agent that uses this surface to move. Here you can see the code. It assigns like a random spot for him to walk around, and that arrow shows the direction. The yellow circle you can see around it's like vision distance. So if the player walks into this circle, the skeleton will start chasing. I'll show it here in a second. Just trying to adjust the camera. So here you can see it. You see the player moving towards it, and boom. The skeleton starts chasing him, and you can see now his arrow is fixed on the player, and it's a little small, but if you see there's like a red circle in the skeleton, that's its attack distance. This code is not original from me. I did use a tutorial for it and I will link it, but it's pretty sweet. I just had to change a couple lines of code for it to work with this. And I already kind of showed this, but I do have a health system. So if the player is not blocking, he receives full damage from the enemy. And then if he's blocking, he takes reduced damage. I mean, it's not full damage negation, it's just reduced damage since he is blocking with a sword. So after that, I thought it was about time I added some visual effects to show when you're blocking and when you're actually hitting. So here you can see I'm blocking and then a visual effect comes on. It's a little flashy, so I might change it to be a little more subtle. And then here you can see I'm dodging and I'm not taking any damage, which doesn't have any special effect yet. And then here in a second, blocking again, and then blocking, and then I'm hitting him, and you can see some impact effects. These are a little cartoony, and it kind of matches the style I wanted to go for, but I think it looks pretty nice. So I'm pretty proud of it. And then here you can see I'm trying to kill him, and he's dead. So I also have a small trail effect on the sword. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. And right after that, I thought it was time to add some sound to the game. I wanted to add some footsteps and some hit effects, as well as when you're blocking. And here's how that looks along with all the changes I implemented with the dodging, the hitting, the combo system, and the skeleton chasing animation, and AI system as well. And that's pretty much all the progress I made this week. I think it also sums up about maybe a little to 8 hours or under that. I definitely didn't have as much time because, yeah, I'm still working, and I also have my courses to keep learning Unity. I'm not an expert, so I definitely need those. But I feel like it's an okay point. For the next video, I want to work on a pairing system. I also want to give the skeleton a little more complexity by allowing him to block and move around. So if that sounds remotely interesting to you, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like, a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.